Hello, everyone, and good evening. Welcome to our webinar session at Swiss Cyber Institute. My name is Samir Aliyev. I'm a founder and CEO of Swiss Cyber Institute, and today we are going to teach you or to show you some technical stuff from our ethical hacking lab at the Swiss Cyber Institute. The topic is Blue Team Essentials, Detect and Defend Against Cyber Threats. This is 1 hour session, and we are going to record the session. It's also live streamed at the YouTube. You can use the Q&A button or chat button to send us the questions and concerns or any comments you might have. And I will join to this session together with my colleague Fikret Kerimli. But before we start the session, I would like to show you several slides about the Institute, what we are doing, and what's the purpose of today's event. Swiss Cyber Institute is a recognized cybersecurity education center by No, I believe you didn't hear me. I will start again. Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to our live session at Swiss Cyber Institute. Today, we are going to talk about technical terms, technical topics, which is the blue team responsibility in cyber environment, talking about detect and defend against cyber threats. I'm Samir Aliyev, the founder and CEO of Swiss Cyber Institute, in the same time academic director at the University of St. Gallen for cybersecurity educations and data protection educations. Swiss Cyber Institute is recognized education provider by Swiss government, and in the same time we have partnership with ICT Berufsbildung, with ISAC and IC2. And today, after my introduction, Fikret will join us. Fikret is our ethical hacker and head of labs at Swiss Cyber Institute, and he's going to show you some cool tools and challenges and solutions in cyber environment. I would like to share this map with you before we start. Happily, Swiss Cyber Institute is recognized by Canton Zurich, one of the top key players in computer science field, together with ETH Zurich, with University of Zurich, and other universities, as you see. And we have also the Apple, Microsoft, SAP, OpenAI, Accenture, you name it, all the companies that they are actively operating in Canton Zurich. Nevertheless, we have trained many of hundreds of students from different organizations. Those are some of the organizations, public-private organizations that they trust us. They send their employee to us that we train them in cyber field. And we are happily and proudly sharing those names with you because at our institute, we provide a preparation course for federal examination, which is cybersecurity specialist course. We have fundamental cybersecurity and AI courses. We have advanced level security courses. We have corporate trainings and also ISAC and IC2 certification trainings. You can discover them at our on our webpage that we have all information there. What makes us unique at Swiss Cyber Institute that we are providing personalized learning journey for our attendees. We have our own hacking lab environment, virtual machines. Everything is practice oriented, and we provide everything fully online through the online tools that you shouldn't go anywhere. We have a digital campus. We have simulations, a lot of live classrooms. We work international experts, academics from all around the world, and we record all sessions that is available to our attendees. And it's part-time. There will be no interruption in your professional career. We provide career coaching and networking for our attendees and students that they can also network with instructors, with other security leaders. Nevertheless, I would like to inform that this session is a recorded session and we will record. It's also lively streamed in what's named YouTube. And you can send us your questions. You can send us your concerns by using chat button or Q&A button. Now, that's all from my side. I would like to hand over the stage to Fikret. Fikret is joining us from United Nations. And Fikret, welcome. It's our pleasure to have you here. And
Hey
we
guys,
have, I would say, 50 minutes, 50 to 55 minutes. And I'm going to listening you here. I will mute myself and leave the stage to you and wish you all the best and all of our attendees. Please enjoy the session with
thank
Fikret.
you. Thank you. Hey guys, so as Samir said,
We don't hear you, Fikret.
oops. Mm,
Okay. The people,
Should
they
be
hear you, but
hearable
most
actually.
probably
I
my
was like,
headset.
thanks, Samir.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
I see
perfect.
some of our students already here. Hey guys.
Yes.
So, as Samir said, my name is Fikra Karimli. Whoever just doesn't know me, I live in the United States. Been in the cybersecurity around like it's just going to be my 12th year. I'm professionally from seven. I wrote my first program when I was seven, built my own computer when I was eight. Currently director of cybersecurity architecture for a global company in the United States. At the same time, I'm a head of lab systems and one of the instructors, which is all the technical stuff is just under my responsibility in Swiss Cyber Institute. And in short, so I'm really gonna Damien, you have something? You raise your hand. Okay, yeah, it might be a mistake. So, yeah, also did my master's in cybersecurity and San Diego State. Did my bachelor's in engineering back in my country. Uh, CISSP, CCSP, OSCP, OSCE, OSEP, OSDA, OSWE, EE, GXIH, GXCS, GXPT, CNSS 4011 and 12, and a bunch of another certs. I don't remember right now, to be honest. Oh, GCAP too. So yeah, whatever. That's enough about me, and I'm not gonna just just sit here and just talk all day about like just some theories or about myself. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dive in and just show you for one of the like just stuff, one of the challenges that we some of the people over here they already seen that, so it's just not gonna be new for them. But for a majority of the participants over here, so it's just gonna be new. So yeah, I'm just gonna start sharing my screen and just make an introduction about a scenario that we're gonna work in, and we're gonna just dive into the analysis of an attack, how we're gonna identify it. We're gonna just do methodological and just practical approach. So yeah, let's start it. So that's, by the way, that's our own virtual lab that created by us, maintained by us. So I'm just gonna log in over here, and hopefully if you're gonna be a student over here in one day, so that's what you're gonna just be using. So I'm gonna use one of our lab scenarios, which is the network forensics. That's what we're gonna work in today. And since it's starting right now, it's gonna take like a half a minute. If you guys have any questions so far, you guys can go ahead and just ask. And by the way, that challenge usually in the classes, it just typically take like just 3-4 hours because we're gonna go with the like a more in detailed approach that in each step. But since we have a time limitation over here, I'm just trying to kind of go a little bit fast with the just direct solution. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and launch my workstation. And by the way, all of our labs, you don't need any equipment, no nothing. All you need is a browser. And we're using the best in breed machines with the AMD EPYC CPUs, and at least I could just 8 gigs of RAM in each machine. And you guys are not sharing any machine with each other, so it's completely kind of just dedicated to you. So the challenge that we're going to work in today is one of the scenarios It just we need to perform a network analysis using the various tools to examine the packet captures and various logs. So that is really like just based on the network attacks, and we're going to examine the network packets and stuff, which is it's a fictional PYND company that IDS analyst is in the daily panic mode because of the snort, which is the IDS IPS alert that suggests that bad things that have happened on the network, and that person is overwhelmed. So the PYND has hired us in this scenario as a consultant to help and assess what happened on the network. So that's what we're gonna basically do. So I'm just gonna go ahead and open up my terminal and go ahead that given the PCAP file, because that's the PCAP file, and some another logs has been provided us for our analysis. So I'm gonna go to NTA exercises, scenarios, scenario 1. And our files, we do have SMTP logs, our main PCAP file, and firewall log, and some DNS logs over here. So we're just going to go ahead and start with the just PCAP, just because in order to kind of to identify what really kind of happened, we need to start with like some, we need to work with some alerts and stuff. So in order to do that, we need to use snort against our whole PCAP file in order to find out what kind of anomalies or some misconfiguration, patterns or mismatches, misconfigurations, or whatever. That's something weird behavior happening in that PCAP. So we're going to use snort, our IDS tool, which we're going to provide our configuration file. And as I said, since we're like I just have a time limitation, I cannot really kind of deeply explain in each and every topic, but you can get an idea. So, and I'm going to use it against with the read from that scenario 1.pcap, and I'm going to use the quiet mode, and I want to see all of my alerts in my console. So, and there we go. So snort detected against that PCAP, snort detected some of these alerts. So we need to kind of just, let's take a look at it and examine what these alerts are really kind of just meaningful, because that IDS IPS usually kind of just can be false positive, right? Let's kind of take a look at it. So first one suggests a protocol DNS name version attempt, which is it's just coming from 106.117.100.121 to our DNS server. Okay, so it just means it might be some DNS, stuff, that reconnaissance, maybe someone tried to enumerate our DNS infrastructure. So it could be, something. We don't know it yet, but we're going to analyze those too. But for now, we just know that something like a DNS related stuff happened. So we got an alert. So, and another alert, we have server mail verify route, that's a typical SMTP command command for verifying some users in that email server, which can be used for phishing or user enumeration, just because when you're trying to verify that SMTP with the manual commands like, hey, verify fic at SwissCyberInstitute.com. If it's okay, if that email has been found on the registry, it just says okay. If it's not, it say not found. So it's just kind of a way to enumerate the users so you can get a list of the users so you can send the phishing emails or something like that. So right now, we're just kind of forming an idea that what we're dealing with. And by looking at the IP address, it's just coming from the same IP address as the DNS one, which is, we're just gaining more confidence that it might be an actual attack. So it's not a false positive. And we have another server mail verify route, which is the same thing. And interestingly, we have indicator shellcode Metasploit payload Windows ad user has been detected, which is, it's again coming from the same IP address to one of our internal servers. And the shellcode Metasploit shell stager as well, executable was detected, coming from the same IP. Executable portable binary file magic detected. That means someone actually could be downloaded some exe files. And some heap sprays, just other heap spray characters detected. So idea that we formed as of right now is that there's can't be that amount of false positives from the same IP address. So that extremely high likelihood that this activity is malicious. So it would be very unusual to have this number of alerts from the same session that indicating that false positives. Hopefully, till here it just makes sense. So we got since we formed an ID and we got some IOCs, indicators of compromise, that we can, so our pivot points, because our pivot point over here is this IP address. We need to kind of look what kind of stuff that this IP address has been done on the network, right? That's our main pivot point. So we can go backwards in order to find the root cause and how it just happened, and go forward, like go afterwards from that pivot point, find out what kind of post-exploitation stuff that's been done. So in order to kind of just do my analysis a bit more efficient, I'm going to use a Zeek, which is a very powerful and versatile network traffic analysis tools that has been used by most of the security engineers and security consultants and architects today. So I'm going to use Zeek against our scenario.pcap, which will create some files for me. And all of these files are connection.log, DNS log, files log. So if I'm going to just ls.log, it will show me that I can see that the connection log is just showing me all of the connections that happen. It's more like a statistics in the Wireshark. DNS is like just showing me some DNS activity. Each one of these logs has its meaning, which we covered more in deeply in our classes, but I'm going to go with short about it. So NTP is a network time protocol. PE is a process executable. If there's a process executable found on a network packet, it'll just, give us the log about that. So we got like this overview log. So since we've seen like we just need to kind of find the low-hanging fruit for our starting point, right? So I can see like there's possible like just, executable download attempt was detected, right? So it's just good to kind of just start from that point, because that's going to give me some easy wins in order to kind of make sure that it's malicious or not in the beginning. So I can cat PE process executable.log, and I'm going to use Zeekcut. Zeekcut is a tool for just parsing these fields into the readable way, so I can just see really what observed and stuff like that. So I will do cat PE log so I can see some fields over here. So I can see there's, some timestamp over here. ID is really like a just unique identifier that we use to correlate that ID with some another kind of just connections too. For example, we do have that specific string over here, which is just obviously saying that there's some executable has been downloaded in here, and I can just basically grab that unique identifier and paste it over here and just search it against the different logs in order to see the relation between them. And I can definitely see in files log, I can see that application .exe file downloaded. I can see that in HTTP log, which gives me another idea that it just downloaded from the web server, obviously, which is we can see our IP over here, and it just made a GET request of very evilandy.net, and the executable name was evilandy.exe. So we're now getting like just more confident about like just like it just it happened on HTTP, it just coming from here, and one of the users actually downloaded that, which is our another indicator over here is a 10.10.10.42, which gives us an idea that most probably that endpoint is infected, but we need to kind of make it sure, right? But we're just getting more and more confidence along the way. So moreover, since it just happened on the HTTP level, I would like to kind of just see what another HTTP activity that happened in relate to this IP address, 106.117.100.121, right? So I will use cat http.log, and I'll use the zcut to only take the specific fields that I'm going to use, which is a timestamp, ID origin, P, which is the source port, ID dot response port, which is the destination port, and I will use the method, I will use the host, and I would look for URI as well, which is the actual URL value, which it will give me a lot of stuff, right? And I can see that data over here, but I don't need that one. I don't need all of that data. I just need specifically something that relates to 106, 117, 100, and 121. Fine. I think I provide that IP as a mistake, which is 106, 117, 100, 121. A second, did I put it correct? Yes, I did, but I made a mistake just because I didn't add some source, source header, because that will kill my grep. So I need to add host, and I need to add ID dot response host, and there we go. It should work right now. There we go. Since we kind of fixed it, now we can see there's a lot of kind of just stuff happened over here other than till here. So evilandy.exe has been downloaded around this time, but before there's some weird activity is happening. Like something from, like you can see 10.10.42 downloaded from here. You can see the direction. It's coming from here to here. But before, we can see that our malicious or attacker is just trying to kind of do something on 10.10.5, which is weird. But we can just, think about that way. Attacker is just trying to kind of enumerate and see what kind of information he can get from 10.10.5, which is the web server, actually. And we can actually see he's just, enumerating it. It's just trying different options, getting the robots, which is like just pretty typical way to enumerate the website. It's just more like a reconnaissance phase or pre-exploitation phase in here, which we can get an idea that like, okay, that's what he's most probably kind of just trying to do. And after that, like, some of the user, or maybe we can just, think about that way. He most probably get some usernames from the website's user or leadership directory, and he cracked a phishing email, sent it to massive amount of emails, and one of them, it just clicked on it, it just downloaded, and boom, attacker's inside. So since we get that idea, we can actually, in order to kind of just get more like just information, we can even look at the user agents and see what kind of user agent that our attacker used in here, because that could give you that could give us the more idea. And there we go, Nmap scripting engine. If you guys are like just familiar with the Nmap, Nmap is used for reconnaissance, network scanning, and stuff, which that really makes sense. So our attackers actually being busy about with the web server. So since we get that idea too, and since we kind of just know that it's just been downloaded and stuff, now I would look at I would look for like a just pivot a little bit backwards and look for in general connection logs that whoever went to that or had a connection with 100.06.117, 100.121 to see all of the connections that related to that IP because that's where the main point for the command and control system. So in order to kind of just do that, I would look for the connection dialog because that's where all of the connection information that relies, which looks like this. And I would use the Z cut again over here. And I'll do delimiter with the timestamp. I would use the ID origin H, which is the source IP. Let me just put my AirPods so it would be better. Sorry, AirPods. Oh. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys confirm that you guys can hear me? Please. So I can continue. Hello, anyone? Okay, perfect. Oh, I can continue then. So yes, that's my source, and I need to provide the destination, and I need ID response, port 2. So, and I need protocol information, and I need the grep for 100.06, 117, 100, 121. And I will sort it and tell you to show me the unique ones. And there we go. So we have all of the related connections with the timestamp data over here too. So we can see that. So initially, 100.06 reach out to our web server, which is 443. Most probably enumeration stuff has just been done. Port 80, then 25, which is SMTP port, then 53, which is a DNS port, then some HTTPS traffic too. And so we can see some SMTP. So our points are SMTP, DNS, HTTP, because we can see the like a just repeatable pattern over here. And at the end, of course, attacker just after that doing enumeration or whatever and SMTP stuff, most probably it just sent out some phishing. After that, our attacker is not connecting to our internal or to our DMZ anymore. Our internal machines are reaching back to it, which is 42, 10.10.1042. It just like really makes sense. That means like there's definitely something going on. So first, since we know that what we kind of just look for, like a DNS and SMTP, let's kind of just look for the DNS first in order to kind of just see what kind of stuff that our attacker has been done for the in the DNS. So in order to do that, I would use the Zeek's DNS log, and I will still grep for 100.06 and stuff, and I will keep my timestamp, ID origin, ID response, and ID response port. But I will add for DNS related stuff, which is the query and answers. And instead of connection log, I will open up the DNS log. And over here, we can see that some magic stuff over here, which it's reading some, there's some query version bind, and there was an answer. And then it just did some stuff that it just revealed the whole DNS structure, which means like a DNS zone transfer, which is some reconnaissance and pre-export stuff that has been done. Just because usually DNS is not supposed to kind of reveal all of the records, right? So it's just either brute force or DNS, zone transfer, which over here we can see that there's a zone transfer happened, and it revealed all of the internal network structure. So that's reconnaissance stuff that our attacker did. So since we kind of get that idea and we formed that, okay, that's what attacker did on the DNS side, right? Now let's look at the SMTP log and see what happened in general email conversations. So in order to kind of just do that, I'll keep my ID origin, ID response, and I would add some mail related, fields over here, which is the, hello mail from. As I said, I'm fast forwarding all of that just because we don't have a time, but each one of them, like we detail specifically, kind of just educated our students with each one of them and why they need it for, and just stuff like that. Receipt to and subject. So those are the SMTP related stuff that in Zeek, that fields, I mean. And I would, instead of DNS, now I will look for SMTP.log. And I have my IP over here, my attacker's IP. Send it to my email service, which is, it's claiming that as admin at pynd.biz, and send it to gvetus, E. coli, tbur, jcase. So there's something happened right over here, which is weird. And it just telling me that it's the most probably spear phishing. And this one is like a just, email spoofing. We call it like email spoofing that's happening over here. Admin at pynd.biz, like we have an email analysis classes too. And over here, we can just teach our students, we're teaching actually our students how easy to spoof an email. I can just, email to someone and I'm claiming that I'm a Bill Gates or Elon Musk or someone like that, right? But there's a way to spot it, of course. But yeah, we can see that there's a spear phishing is just going on over here. And after getting that idea, but I was just more like just wondering that what's really that email that contains. So Zeek cannot provide that info for us, but Wireshark, in Wireshark, we can just actually see that data. So Zeek, we're using the Zeek for like a just easy and over 50-foot view of the whole network in order to kind of just narrow down our search, just because in the Wireshark, everything is just a little bit like just, chaotic. We use the Wireshark for getting inside of the details, but we're using the Zeek for having like a just overall understanding. So I'm going to go to that packet and open up that packet and look for SMTP. And I will look for that coming from 106, 117, and 121. So let's take a look at our stream, which is, we can see that it's just basically trying to verify, some of the SMTP related stuff, trying to enumerate the server and stuff. But over here, so it's just again verifying, and there we go. We can see some mail data over here, but there we go. We can see another, like just some of our users are just sending an email to each other, like, hey, like subject Ernie Coley sent it to T-Bird that, let's see, hey Tim, is that training working for you? So Ernie's asking about some training stuff, which is weird, which there's no training. And let's take a look at another one. And that's actually the same one that we looked at. So in case we want to kind of just check out this one, we need to do frame contains evil, because that's where the DNS is just, responding to, right? From the previous analysis. And we can see that data over here from the SMTP and IMAP. And we can see that over here, that admin PYND from training system to all employees, everyone, please complete your annual training immediately. Access to the training system over here. HTTP veryevilandy.net, evilandy.exe. So now it's just puzzle is just making more sense that how it just happened. So phishing is just being sent out, and most probably one of that users post 10.10.10.42, which belongs to the T-Bur, clicked on it, downloaded it, and just basically executed it. So we actually can take a look at that exact packet, which if we're going to look at the frame contains evil, and we can see that evil Andy from 10.10.42 has just been downloaded, which if we're going to just go to that HTTP stream, we can see that MZ data over here, right? In order to make sure that what kind of file is that, I'm sorry, guys, we can look at the HTTP, and we know that it's evil Andy.exe. We can save it as a file to our desktop, and I would use the very a dynamic way to analyze it. I will use the VirusTotal. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. And I'll upload the file over here, which is the evil Andy.exe, and boom, it's like a Christmas tree. So I can see it's a Trojan shell, malware, backdoor, whatever. You can find all of that stuff over here. So that really kind of just confirms that that's what really kind of just happened. But moreover, we can see if we're gonna just how many minutes we got? We got 19 minutes. I will spare the last 10 minutes for the question and answers for you guys. But yeah, we have 9 minutes left. So now we exactly know that that from our analysis that evil Andy or whatever that executable was definitely vulnerable at this point. But moreover, and we know that how that stuff happened. So attacker enumerated some DNS and did some SMTP stuff and blah 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 blah, and sent out phishing email, and our poor T-Bur clicked on it, and it just got basically infected. And after that, he clicked. We can see that port number 4444, which is typical Metasploit stager that using that port. So it's just good to kind of just look for what else that after, like we found out the pre-exploitation, we found out how the exploit happened. Now it's just it's a time for finding out the post-exploitation, that what happened after the attacker got in. So, and the first indication over here is a port number 4444. So I will do the destination port. Was that a destination over here? Yes. I will basically use a destination port. I will use it a little bit easier way. I will apply it as a filter in here, and I will edit it in here. There we go. And now we can see that 10.10.10 is just going to here, and we do have some stuff. Let's kind of follow that packets and see what really happened. And here, now we can see all of the command lines and stuff that attacker did. So attacker try to kind of see who am I first. It's a Tiber. Then try to look at the IP configuration 10.10.42. It just did some basic like just information gathering over here. Look at the net use, net session, and I can see he has a remote location in some of the file shares. Then try to kind of look at the drive age, which is that's where the drive is. And there was nothing in here. And he'll also kind of just try to connect to public file share folder. And he can see over here some curl, netcat, osec, password.txt, putty, and blah, blah, blah. Then since the password.txt looks interesting, that's where the help desk usually kind of put, some stuff in the file service, which is very usual. So they can find out really easily and collaborate, but it's not the safe method to do that. So they put some executables that they use in the day-to-day operations, but they also put the password. And they put for help desk only. He tried to open the password.txt, and we can see for help desk only, the accounting share has a special account. If they forget, the account is username accounting, password customer list. Perfect. That's a perfect for attacker, right? And we can see that it just deleted that Z after knowing that information. Then he connected to that accounting share with that user and password, and it just completed successfully. Then from here, he has customer files.csv. And after that, he pinged good evil Andy.net. Most probably is trying to see that he's trying to send that data over to that he is command and control. So he's just pinging it first. Then in the directory, you just try to see what kind of keys and stuff that he has. And he has netcat over here. And boom, he connected to FTP port and send out that customer files.csv with the FTP. Then he deleted that Z drive. He then used it. He was covering his tracks. He connected again back to the Tiber's share folder, and he exits. Okay, but let's see what happened on the FTP wire, because we saw some FTP stuff that has been sent out. So since the FTP is a clear text, now we can see the given name, surname, street, city, zip code, credit card type, credit card number, CVV2 expires, nationality, ID, or whatever. So he got everything, and he left, and boom. That's what we covered. That was the last step. That's what we covered during the post-exploitation phase. So I got briefings. So I'm so sorry. I wish that I can just, we have like a 4 hours so I can explain a lot. But yeah, let's go with the Q&A. Hope you guys liked it. So let me just stop sharing my screen and we can go for the Q&A. There you go. We do have Reddit. What exactly can we search with Zeek versus Wireshark? Does Wireshark have a Zeek search? Wireshark doesn't have a Zeek type of a search functionality. Zeek is more like a use for, as I said before, Zeek is giving you like a 50-foot view of the network, which you can just easily pivot through the like just different like protocols and packets. But in Wireshark, you're just basically doing like a general analysis in the Zeek to get an understanding that what could be happening in the background, and for confirming and going to deeper for each and every packet level information, then you're using the Wireshark in that case. Hope it answered your question, Regis. Cool. Any other questions?
I believe we don't have any further questions, but please feel free to use Q&A button to send your question to Fikret.
Sure.
There's another one in the chat button.
In the chat? Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
How we can do, yeah, you guys can also like just put it into the chat. How we can do analysts in the real time with Wireshark. Oh, real time with the Wireshark, I would not recommend it at all because in a real time it's just completely different. So real time, usually you're using the Zeek and plus some IDS, IPS, which can be Suricata or Snort. And moreover, if you're just looking more like an enterprise level, like just thing, you can use the Corelight, which is my favorite one. So Corelight basically uses Zeek in the background, but they're more like a enterprise ready. So you don't need, like, it just comes with a lot of out of box, integrations and security, like just, stuff out of box. So yes, that's what you need to use in a real time. What would be further steps? So further steps is further steps is after you're kind of identifying all of that stuff. My further step would be like isolate that infected machine and first recover it and just make sure that everything is just back into place and there's no infection no more, and just do further analysis like what else has been infected. Since there's nothing infected, so we can see from the network packets that only that machine went ahead and just download that evil Andy, and just that's the only one talking with the command and control. So after fixing that issue with the machine itself, I would also kind of disable my DNS, harden my DNS server, disable that DNS zone transfers and stuff, harden my SMTP server, so for the further incidents that no one can verify and enumerate my emails. And after that, a most important thing, I would definitely inform my clients that their data has been exposed and stuff like that. This is more like an operational stuff. And hope it just answer your question. But there's more things needs to be done. But that's typically, like, I just try to kind of keep it short. So what about hunting for the attacker? Well, let me tell you something. Hackback is not legal. If you're just hacking someone else, they're hacking you, it's illegal anyways, but you're hacking back them, it's illegal too. So hunting for attacker, I mean, that's another, we can talk about it the whole day. And since the cyber sphere is very large and it's really hard to kind of hunt on, like how are you going to hunt him down? Like he most probably using some cloud infrastructure, kind of just get that data, or proxying through like just 7 different like just countries. It just, well, good luck for hunting down. So Javier said how this can be applied on network traffic investigation. So what can be applied? I didn't get the point, Javier. And Anatoly said, can hardware firewall recognize such an attack? Well, next generation firewalls like a Palo Alto, Fortinet and stuff, they do have a capability to find out those type of incidents for sure. And Swiss Cyber Institute said blocking the CC server. Of course, that's one of the things that you should do. Like you need to block that IP address immediately in the firewall. Mourinho said, could further malware analysis with the volatility belong to one of the next steps? Well, you already know that it's infected. I mean, doing that volatility, where it's going to take you, I'm just wondering. Like, since that lateral movement is a network related thing, the further thing that I can do is like I would look for anything that happened from 1042 to some other machines. Doing the volatility or memory image analysis on top of this one doesn't make any sense to me, to be honest, because I already know that it's infected. if more files were infected for persistence, I mean, you have, I would say you have better way to do it. In this case, I would, rather than using the volatility, I would more like just do like artifact forensics with the Kansa. Kansa is the tool, the open source PowerShell tool for incident response framework that's just being used by a lot of incident responders. That tool that I would use for getting most of these artifacts with the ease, so I can just see like just what auto runs, what kind of a schedule task, the registry keys and stuff can be changed. So that's would be better option for me, in my opinion. But you can do that with the volatility too. But since the memory is volatile, you never know that it's just been gone already or still there. Does it make sense? Hopefully that makes sense, Marinos. Yeah, I try to kind of in order to kind of just approach it, there's a multiple ways to do it. There's always like just more than one ways to do it. So I'm just trying to, since we're, as I said, on the time based like just limitation, so I'm just trying to kind of keep it short. So could you briefly describe the snort as a monitor could scale to monitor multiple locations? So I would say that you need to kind of just use the clustered environment in that case, and you need to have pretty kind of just wide. So Snort is a CPU, a very CPU heavy software. Robert, I'm gonna just tell you right now. So yes, this is a Dave Hall Kansa. That's exactly what it is. So for the Snort, you need to have like a very CPU, like your cluster needs to have a lot of kind of just CPU power. And at different locations, of course, that network and bandwidth is another thing. So you need to architecturally kind of lay out your plan first, just because you're just monitoring the multiple locations and there's going to be tons of traffic, most probably like just, I don't know how large is a company, but it can be from terabyte per second from the like just even like some big companies are even like just maybe 30 terabyte 50 terabyte per second too, and can be as little as like just 100 megabyte per second too. So after like just getting some kind of a ballpark about what your bandwidth look like, how much traffic kind of just pass through, then you can just start build your cluster, interconnect them from the different locations, make sure that they can just connect to each other and see each other, and you need to that snort is kind of, you need to use the master and worker nodes, which is the worker nodes, so you can just deploy it in each and every locations, which you can call it as a sensors. That sensor could like just analyze the data and just generate some alerts and logs and just send out to the master. Master is just being used for like just basically managing those tree stuff. So does it make sense, Andre? So Javier asked, I was asking integration of Zeek with other tools like, yeah. So definitely Zeek can be integrated with SIEM tools like Splunk, Elasticsearch, and even with the logarithm and stuff. Yeah, it definitely can be integrated for sure.
So I believe we are all good. Thanks a lot, Fikret, for the great
Of
evening.
course.
It was too technical for me, of course, but I was listening to all of them. And thanks a lot for everyone for joining us. It is a Friday evening. Wish you a pleasant evening and have a wonderful weekend. Looking forward to see you on next week. This time again with Fikret, we have purple teaming, pardon, next week. And looking forward also to welcome you at Swiss Cyber Institute in case you are around in the city. And we will be very happy to have you here to have a chat and talk about cybersecurity, our institute, what we are offering. The Jovan and the Fion, they are our education heroes, our education advisors. In case you have any further question for cybersecurity education that we provide, please call us or send us an email or visit us in Talakır 50 in the middle of the city, and we will be very happy to welcome you here. And then have a nice evening. Thanks a lot, and wish you a
Take care,
wonderful
guys.
weekend. Bye, Fikret. Thanks a lot.
Bye, guys. Take care.